Hello, it's Erica and welcome to another Demo Plus. Just really wanted to show you some of the versatilities of dies. This is a nesting set of dies that was a free gift in the Die Cutting Essentials issue 18. So it's a tonic die, so really nice quality. Comes in a nice carry case as well, so you can keep them in there really. But these are the dies, so I should put the magazine to one side. So within the dies you have 4, and like I said, they all nest in each other. Now obviously it's easier for me to show you them already die cut because the die cutting machine is noisy, and obviously within the space that we've got here it's better that I've already pre-done them. So first of all, I'll show you them as a solid. So that is that one, that is that one, that is that one, and that is that one. We'll pop the hole out. That is that. So those are the 4 dies that you get. Like I said, I mean, nesting dies are very versatile. It's the way you combine them. So even if you don't have this set, it would be really useful for some of the other sets that are available. But just as a matter of very simple design is just the case of layering them one on top of the other. Obviously in black you don't really notice, but I like to do this in alternating colours. So I've already got one made, so you can see you've got the background in craft, then I've used a patterned black paper, then I've got the craft again on this one, that one there, and then the final one there, and then I've put a little motif on the top. So you can see you can create quite nice, intricate, oh, I've used 3D sticky pads as well to hold it, so it gives more dimension. But it becomes more intricate, and really there isn't an awful lot of work involved because, like I said, it's just putting one on top of the other. So that's the first idea. Then, so those are the solids. I don't know if I've got enough room here. Then if you actually nest them all inside each other when you cut, so that goes in there, that goes in there, and that goes in there. A really good tip is if you do have a magnetic shim when you go to cut them, it's really useful because if that slides it goes off. So if you've got the magnetic shim, it just holds them in place. So with that you get that one. Let's put that to one side there. You get that one, that one, let me find it. Where's the other one? Oh, there it is. That one and that one. And now that throws up a whole new load of ideas. So these are more frames than they are solid tags. So you can see you've almost created another set of designs. So really useful with the frame one is to die cut one solid. I've used purple here just so it can show up, and then the frame one goes on top and just match them up and you've got a nice frame with the background. Now I'll show you a couple of examples that I've made using this. These two here, just with some graphic 45 papers, and that one's got the darker frame and I've just done some collaging, and that one's got the craft card with the holly paper on there, and I just think it gives them a nice frame, makes them look really pretty. So that's the second idea. So there's your frames, but I really love this one. I haven't used this one yet, and again you could do the same thing. You can layer that on top of another card. Obviously you can't die cut a solid of that one, so a little tip that I do, I take my Herma glue and just run it on the, you can use the Herma sheet as well, and obviously all the excess just rubs off. Lay it down, rub any excess off again, and then simply cut it out. It's not a difficult shape, so I don't think it's a great worry to do this. Obviously, if you wanted it as a tag, you would have to hole punch that one, but you could leave it, especially if you're going to put it onto a card. Leave it as it is. So you've got a nice tag with a frame to it. By the same tack, you can, obviously that's the same size, so I know it's going to fit. You can do that and have a solid and just have that showing through. So that's two ways of doing it with this technique. So I shall put that back. Some examples of those I'll just find now. These are nice to have a contrasty look to them. That one is the frame, and what I've done there is I've stuck a solid onto a frame, and then I've put the little tag inside of it, so it just gives a nice sort of floating background, and it just leaves a little space to put something on. I think these would be lovely gift tags, and they look really like you've spent loads of time over them, but obviously the die cut does it all for you, so it's really easy. These two here, one with a darker background with the pattern paper on top, and this one with the craft paper underneath and like a vintage patterned paper. So just to show you that that's yet again another idea that you can create from these tags. Then there's one more thing that I want to show you, and that is, if I can find it, if you put the two sets of tags together like so, you can create a frame. So I know the best match-up is that middle one there. Can you see that one there? And that matches up with that one there. So the best thing to do is work out where they overlap, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut, I'll cut it about there, cut that one there, then put it on, make sure each time that you're getting it right, and then cut that one there. And now they slightly overlap, so we'll put my hammer on it. They overlap and make a lovely frame. Now obviously I've got a piece there that is going to look a bit odd, but this is where, you know, you could decide to put something central in there, or you could decide to put something up like so. I mean, that looks really nice. And then you cover it up. So one of the examples of that I have already done is this one here, and that's the solid. I'll show you the other bit in a minute, but you can see I've just used a punch to punch out a piece of patterned paper, and so you can see it covers it up. So it's a lovely way to make the tag not a tag, if that makes sense. So that's the first one, and then the bits that I've cut off, if you match them together, let me do that flat on the table. If you match them together, you've got another design there. And again, if you've got something, even something like this, because this would cover it up lovely, just covering up the join. Actually, what I like to do is just get myself a little bit of washi tape and tape them together. That way they're going to stay put. So now when I put that on, let's use my Hermer. When I put that on, job done. So now I've got another little frame, and that's just from the leftovers from this. So I didn't even use anything extra for that one. So it's a bonus, that one. So the same applies to these ones. Again, I like to match up where I mean how you can go from this size up to this size. Yeah, I hope you can see that just by how much you want to use. And what I did with this one was I kept them both together with my hand, and then I just cut down the center. And again, this is where you get the two bits on there, and you got two on there. And again, you can use anything like that's quite nice on there as a full frame. And also on that one you could have like a circle and just have them poking out the sides. So because that's quite big, it covers that bit up, you can get away with it. So, oh, let's get it even. So you can do something like that. So let me just show you what I did on this one. If you can see now, that little bit went there. And because there's a hole in there, I've just stuck a pearl inside. So it actually looks like a decorative position rather than it being a hole for a tag. So that one's done now. This one, like I showed you, is this here. And obviously the embellishment covers the hole. So, you know, it's a lovely way, or upside down, it's a lovely way to use your tags in a different way. Like if you've got other tags, other tag dies, try them out like this, because I think you might be surprised you can create some really lovely designs with this. Again, this one here is the one that I've used here, this one. And I've just used the cut off bits to create, and then just there's a punched out patterned paper in the centre, and again I've used some gems to cover up the holes, so it kind of has a whole unity. And then we've got this one, and this one is using this frame one, but obviously I'm only using the outside bit, so just in the same way that I cut this one, you can cut this one out, overlap them in the middle, and then put something on top. So it's a really simple card, but actually it looks quite complicated. Lastly, there's a couple of few more things just with the little bits. The little tag and the next one up, those two, are great for adding to a birthday present, but also using your tags as the decoration on your card. So all I've done with this is cut the 3 tags, stamped a message on it, and obviously this one's going that way and these 2 are going that way, and then just tied ribbon onto them and then put them on with sticky pads. So it just gives, and that's a really easy thing, because if you're die cutting a lot of these, you might find you get quite a few of these left over, so it's quite nice to find other uses for them. And I think that's all the ones that we've done, but like I said, it's amazing how many different varieties you can get from these this one set of dies. This applies to other sets as well, so give it a go. Try some of your other sets, mix and match them about, and see what you can get from them. Thanks for watching.